everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today on the meditation channel. So today is day 3. Day 3 of our healing series for addiction. So I actually do kind of have a plan today. Believe it or not, well, a plan. I just know what I want to talk about, and I was thinking about it as I was editing day 1 and day 2, and of course day 3 just came natural to me. So I want to talk about something that's really, really important, and that is habits. Now, when we create habits, they become, once again, a program in our subconscious brain, which is why we get comfortable doing it over and over and over again. Obviously, one of our habits here is the addiction. So we have built a routine, a pattern, a ritual, if you like. A lot of you know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to the ritual, when it comes to your addiction to the using. And so what I wanted to talk about here today is basically the importance of starting to break this habit, starting to shift this habit and creating new habits. Here's the thing. When it comes to habits, it's very hard to just stop something and then all of a sudden not have anything else kind of replace it. And so it's really important that we start creating new habits or new routines that kind of disrupt it, but also that take the place of the old habit. So I'll give you an example. So for me, for instance, my habit was I would wake up in the morning. Of course, the thoughts, that's also part of your habits, by the way. It's the thoughts that are running in your head. The thoughts were, oh, I need to smoke. And of course, the first thing I would do is my ritual, which is I'd sit down at my desk, the same exact desk, and I would take out my smoke and I would take out my Mary J and I would be chopping it up, and then I'd be, mixing it in the bowl and then, rolling it up, doing my thing, going outside and having my morning J. So as you can see, this is something that I would do every single day. Sometimes I would even wake up early and get excited in the morning because that would be the first thing I'd be doing. So there's also, by the way, an emotional attachment to the habit. So this is very important. We create habits, we become addicted to the habits as well because we get an emotional validation. There was an excitement. There was a physical, emotional reaction to me starting that ritual every morning. There's the thoughts that are linked to this habit. And of course, there's the habit itself, the physical action. So today I want you guys to really spend some time and think about your rituals, your habits, your thoughts, and the emotional satisfaction that you get out of this, which is really what you're addicted to. It really comes down to the emotional attachment that creates the habit, that creates the addiction. We're very much addicted to emotions, and emotions ultimately become the motivator as to what we do. So I want you to just take a minute right now to think about it. What are the thoughts that run through your head? Let's think about the morning tonight. What is the first thing that you think about in the morning? Now, one of the things that I discovered about my thoughts was I had really, really, really negative, toxic thoughts in the morning. I could hear my thoughts activating before I would even open my eyes. And a lot of those thoughts, I can't even tell you right now what they were. You're a piece of shit. Nobody loves you. Nobody cares about you. You're a loser. You're a failure. What's the point? You're getting old. As you can tell, they were very wonderful thoughts. Now, when you start your day off like that, what do you think's going to happen? First and foremost, you're not going to have a great day because you already started in a very, very low frequency negative vibration. And I know a lot of you probably have very similar thoughts. The second thing was, it was actually a subconscious motivator to make me use. Because if I'm feeling depressed, guess what? I have the solution. Let me go and do my ritual. As I'm doing the ritual, I'm beginning to feel a little better. And then I go and smoke and at least I'm not feeling what I was feeling before. Even though you still don't feel great after it anyway, because then you have to do it all over again and again and again to keep that high, right? So what I realized was that this became a habit. This became a very strong ingrained habit One thing we need to understand about the brain is neuropathways. So a habit is basically a neuropathway. It's like, imagine like something that your brain creates. It's a program, if you like, that gets locked in, and then that's it. Once we create a neuropathway in our brain, we cannot undo it. And I want you guys to think about the brain like a computer, right? You've created this program, you can't delete this program. However, what you can do is override that program with a stronger program. Now, here's the thing, and this is with addiction. That program's always going to be there, which is why they always say once an addict, always an addict, right? That is there. There's not much you can do about it. So we need to create a new program to override the old program and keep feeding the new program so that it gets much, much stronger, so that when something negative happens, when you have a bad day or even a good day, because of course, any excuse to use, right? That you don't fall back into the old program, that you don't fall back into the old habits. So what are some things that you can do? I'm just going to share with you the things that I did to change my habits. And this does take dedication, commitment, and you gotta not listen to your emotions in this situation, unfortunately. There are some moments where your emotions should definitely be the primary, what's the word for it? The most important thing, okay? My brain. Sorry, I'm just laughing at myself because I can't find words sometimes. And then other times, your emotions are definitely the most important thing to listen to. But when it comes to something like a habit like this, that it's not a good habit, logic has to take over. And not only logic, you have to set a routine. And I know in addiction is very hard to do that, but you'll get better at it as long as you stick to it. And of course, the other thing is you have to give it a realistic time frame. Okay. Now, these are the things that worked for me. I highly recommend that you figure out what's going to work for you. Okay. And I cannot tell you exactly what that's going to be. I can only share with you what worked for me. And this is something that I completely changed my life. So one of the things that I noticed was my thoughts, right? My thoughts were very much on a negative channel. I grew up with a family. We always make a joke that my grandmother's favorite thing to do, well, I make the joke that my grandmother's favorite thing to do is to complain. She's a very, 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 very negative person. She gets a lot of pleasure out of complaining, and somehow I picked up that habit and it became one of my habits too. From all of the research that I've done over the years with spirituality, with mental health and all this sort of stuff, your thoughts are so powerful. And you can use them to harm you, to create more trauma, to create more negativity in your life, or you can start taking control back and using them really to serve you as a superpower. This is not easy to do. I've been telling myself for years, every single morning, that I'm a piece of crap. I've been telling myself for years that I'm not worthy. Okay. So like anything, like training, like anything else, it's just the consistency, it's just the practice of it. So one of the things that I started doing was affirmations every day. A few things about affirmations. I've worked, as I said, in addiction and recovery for a very long time, and I had a lot of clients saying that this is BS, okay? Affirmations don't work, they're a bunch of crap. That's your attitude, guess what? It's not gonna work, okay? And that's fine. Okay, you do you, boo. But at the end of the day, they definitely worked for me. And if you think about it, if you're telling yourself that you're a piece of crap, that you're a loser, that you're an addict, that there's nothing that you can do, guess what? That's going to be your truth. So you have the power to shift that, and it's up to you. Now, unfortunately, everybody's taking on this whole thing about affirmation, that they're just like fluff words and they're like there to make magic happen and whatever. I don't use affirmations. I mean, I do use them in that world as well now. But when I started, I really used them for self-empowerment. Chasing happiness is bullshit. I'm just gonna be real with you guys. Happiness is not a powerful, concrete thing. Happiness comes and goes. I can take away someone's happiness like that. I kill their dog. I hit them with the car. I kill their mom. A bit dramatic. I'm not going to do that, of course. But my point that I'm trying to make here is that happiness can be taken away. Self-respect and self-empowerment cannot. You can try to hurt me, you can try to do things to me, but when I have that solid foundation, no matter how low I go now, I know what I need to do to get myself back up. So I use now affirmations. Well, I started with affirmation, now I use them for different things, but I still use them to build up self-respect and self-empowerment. A few things about affirmations. You always have to use them in the present. I am this, I am that. Because if you do, you got to understand that we're talking to the subconscious mind here. So we're reprogramming this program here, this machine. If you say, I will, then your brain will go, oh, well, okay, she'll do it later. Okay, so I am, meaning I am this now. I'm declaring this to be my reality now. Not tomorrow, not yesterday, right now. And then the other thing is you have to believe what you're saying. A lot of people do affirmations wrong. So a lot of people start with affirmations like, oh, okay, let's just say that they're poor, okay, and they want to become a millionaire. Your vibration's down here, your reality's down here, and you want to get up here. Do you see the jump, the gap? So what happens half the time is that a lot of people, when they say, I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire, but they're broke and they're about to be homeless, actually makes them feel worse. And what ends up happening is because really what they're looking at is like, I am down here and I have to get all the way over there. This is impossible. And so it makes you feel worse. When you use affirmations, they should make you feel a little bit better. So with me, with my addiction, one of the things I started to say was, you're not supposed to, by the way, use affirmations in a negative context, but for me, it worked when it came to smoking, especially smoking tobacco. I used to say, I hate tobacco. Tobacco is disgusting. I hate it. I am not a smoker. So little things like this. Now you have to obviously customize it to your needs, to your addiction, to your thing. I would do things like I am smoking less and less every day. Each and every day I am understanding why I smoke. I am figuring out who I am. And the more I understand who I am, the less I have a need to my addiction. I am free of my addiction. I am in control. I am powerful. I am worthy. Now, obviously, when I started, I kept it very simple. Don't give yourself too many affirmations. And the point is the repetition. Now, part of my ritual, going back to my ritual, first thing in the morning, instead of getting up and rolling a Mary J, rolling a J, I would sit down and write an A4 page of affirmations specifically around my addiction, which, by the way, it's still a practice that I do to this day. This has become my everyday. It's like brushing my teeth. My neural pathways, when it comes to thinking, it's programmed on a very negative setting still. So I have to work really freaking hard to be positive or to be empowered or to think, to have a solid foundation mentally, because my thoughts go off with the fairies and then they go into hell and then they bring hell back to my reality. Okay. So I really have to work every single day to make sure that I tune this guitar. If you like, think of it as an instrument. I'm waking up in the morning and I'm tuning my guitar and I'm like, this is what we're going to play today. This is how we're going to think. And I set very specific thoughts each and every day to create something, to, you know, depending of course of what's going on in my life, but that's for another video. Just focus on your addiction and maybe pick like 5 or 6 affirmations that really resonate with you, that make you feel really powerful and that create an emotional activation, an emotional reaction to the words that really give you that like, yeah, you know, kind of thing. I can do this. I am worthy. Yeah. They can do it. I can fucking do it. Whatever it is that, you know, because emotions are energy in motion, right? So you need that energy behind the affirmation in order for that affirmation to really work. Remember, we talked about emotions are really the motivation behind everything that we do. So if there's no emotion behind it, you can say it all day long, but then, you know, it's just going to come by and just float out. The other thing that I started doing was catching myself saying negative things throughout the day. So if I said something negative, I would catch it if I could. If I couldn't, that's fine. Eventually you get better and better at it. Of course, the more you start doing this, the more you become self-aware. Eventually self-awareness is the key here. You catch the negative thought and I would say cancel. And then I would say something positive 3 times. I repeated 3 times to basically, override the old program. This is a very, very simple exercise, you guys, but I'm telling you, if you can find a way to apply it and commit to it, that's the other thing, commitment. How long are you willing to commit to it? So I gave myself, I think it was when I first started doing affirmation, it was actually 1 year. I know it's a very long time for a lot of you, but hey, 7 years later, I'm still doing it because it worked. It really worked for me. So this is going to be my practice for the rest of my life. But I would recommend for some of you just to do it for like 30 days, okay? Set it on a schedule. You have to have the visual, okay? So I have a post-it notes in my bathroom where I have goals, okay? So you can do something like that. You can put the 30 days and then tick it out every single day. You have to keep that commitment and you have to keep yourself accountable. Okay, with your addiction, guys, you can get a lot of help, but at the end of the day, you have to hold your own fucking hand through this and you have to get yourself out of it. You have to show up for yourself. You have to be your hero. You have to be your parent. You have to be your counselor. Yes, get the help from other people, 100%, but in the end of the day, who makes the change happen is you. So if you don't keep yourself accountable, then clearly you're not serious about your recovery. Right? You have to be really serious about this. And it's okay if you F it up. It's okay if you miss a day or 2. Okay? But the point is you are committed and you're going to do everything in your power possible to make this happen. The more you show up for yourself, the more you invest, the more likely you're actually going to do it. If you half-ass it, well, guess what's going to happen? We all know what's going to happen. So how badly do you want this? How badly do you want to change your life? And it doesn't matter if it feels ridiculous. No one's watching you. You know, we don't do things because we're afraid of what are people going to think about it? Who fucking cares? When you die, you're going to be with you. You may have people around you, but in the end of the day, it's going to be with yourself. So who cares? Do it even if it feels ridiculous, even if it feels stupid. Because if you don't try, you'll never know. Okay, let me think about something else. Is there anything else that I did in my routine? I mean, there was a lot of things that I did in my routines, but I think this is one of the most powerful foundation. And of course, like I said, meditation was my other thing that I did every single day. Once again, we're going back to the brain here, guys. You know, it's always to do with the brain. This is what's creating your reality. This is what created your addiction. So we need to get into that program. We need to get into that computer and start messing around with it and changing some wires in there because it's all messed up, the wiring. Okay, well, let's do the meditation now. I think this meditation is going to be about you figuring out what your routine should be, when you should do the routine. Trust the information that you get. Trust your intuition, okay? Because as much as our brains do things subconsciously, they also know what you need. And if you ask, you'd be surprised how the information comes forward. Okay, so let's get to the meditation. Okay, guys, so let's begin. Let's close our eyes. Just take a moment just to relax your body, maybe roll your shoulders. And just take a moment just to scan your body from head to toe. We're just going to check in with ourselves today, just see if there's any tension. So starting at the top of your head, moving down your head. Is there any tension in your jaw? Moving down your neck, the front of your neck, back of your neck, moving down your shoulders. So if there is any tension, just be aware. With your breath, just try to let go a little more. Moving down your chest, your upper back, the top of your arms, your elbows, your forearms, your stomach, your back, your hands, all the way down to your fingers, your hips, your groin, your buttocks, the top of your legs, the back of your legs, your knees, shin, calves, ankles, and feet, all the way down to your toes. And I want you now to call forth your guides, your higher self, a higher power to assist you today through this meditation, to guide you, to give you the information today that you need to assist you in reprogramming new habits. Just gonna move the chair. Sorry guys, it's making a bit of sound. In reprogramming new habits, healthier habits, habits that will empower you, that will guide you, that will assist you in discovering who you really are. And so I want you to visualize a beautiful white light above your head now. It's light shining down and swirling around the top of your head, moving down your body. And as it moves down, you feel any heaviness, any negativity or toxicity just being washed away. Just feeling lighter, feeling clearer, feeling more uplifted. We also invite this light to remove any negativity, any toxicity, or any entities that are not welcome. And now we invite this light into your mind. So visualize your third eye in between your forehead, opening up as if an eye's opening up. And we invite this frequency, this light into our minds. So visualize this white light gently merging through your third eye, entering your mind, and moving through your brain. So shifting any lower frequencies in your brain, any negativity, connecting to your mind, to your pineal, activating your mind on a different level. And now we invite our subconscious to show up for us today, to allow us to heal, to release the addiction, and to invite in self-awareness. So let's begin with becoming aware of the negative habits that we have. So let's start with our thoughts. What are the negative thoughts that have been created, that have become a habit? And just noticing, if you like, even bring yourself to those moments throughout your day where you know these thoughts are strongest. And just notice what you're saying to yourself. Now we invite this thought, these thoughts, to reveal to us the nature of it. So when were these thoughts first created? Was it because of a specific event, a trauma, something that happened in childhood? Please reveal that to us now. And now we ask this thought to reveal to us why we still hold on to it. What do we gain from it? Is it familiarity? Is it an emotional reaction? Is it validation? Being validated that the pain that we suffered, just to remind us how much we have suffered, to not forget that version of us that had to go through what they went through. What is it that you gain from holding on to this pain? What do you gain from holding on to this thought? And now just take a mental note, okay? This is very important for you to become self-aware, become familiar with these patterns. Next, we ask our body, our subconscious, to reveal to us the emotions that we are addicted to, the emotions that have become an ingrained habit that lead us to using. So please reveal to us those emotions. And just noticing if your body's reacting to these emotions. And if you could show us where this frequency, where this energy is held in our body. So maybe you feel tension in your heart or heat somewhere in your body, or maybe you feel like a knot in your throat. Just notice where these emotions are held in your body the most. And once again, reveal to us where these emotions were first created. Help us understand the nature of these emotions, the birth of these emotions. And why we hold on to these emotions, why we have this need for them to come back time and time again. What are we addicted to when it comes to these emotions? Is it the familiarity? Is it literally just the chemical shift? What is it that we need from this emotion? All right, and once again, take a mental note, just become self-aware. And of course, now let's reveal the physical ritual of using, the pattern, the ritual, the habit that you have gotten into. Just play it in your head if you can. Don't get too emotionally attached to it, of course. We're just observing, remember that. We're becoming self-aware, we're watching ourselves as we go through this. And why do we have the need for this ritual? When did this ritual first begin? All right. Thank you very much, mind. Now we want to tap into the new habits, the habits that we need to take place of these negative habits, okay? So let's begin with our thoughts. Mind, show and reveal to us 3 to 5 thoughts, new thoughts that empower us, that allow us to see things with clarity, that allow us to integrate all aspects of ourselves with love, kindness, and to motivate us to shift away from the addiction and to create new healthy habits that align with an empowered life, with an abundant life. So this is where you're just going to have to trust the information that you receive, okay? So let's begin. Listen. I am. I am. I am. What are the thoughts that you need to begin to integrate into your life that empower you, that motivate you, that align you with the new version of who you are, with the sober version of you? Who is that person? How do they think? How do they see themselves? And mind, now reveal to us how we're going to integrate these new thoughts into our daily routine. Reveal to each individual the most powerful way that they can start implementing this. whether it's through repeating it in the mirror out loud, whether it's through writing it, whether it's just to catching it and redirecting those thoughts. What are the thoughts that they need? And how can they begin to implement them in the most powerful, transformative way? And finally, thank you. How do we break the ritual, the addiction ritual, into an empowering ritual? What is something that each individual can do to shift that negative ritual and transform it by replacing it with a positive, empowering ritual that they can practice every single day? Reveal that to us now. What is it that you need to do? What is it that you need to let go of? What is it that you need to change? What is it that you need to commit to? All right, take a mental note. And thanking your guides, your higher self. And slowly, slowly closing that third eye now, just shutting that eye. And that beautiful white light begins to dim down until it disappears. Slowly, slowly returning back to your body, expanding your awareness back into the room. Take your time. And when it feels right, you can open your eyes. Mr. Peanut here is being demanding. I see you, Bubba. Yes, you want to make an appearance? I know. You say hi to everyone? All right, guys. So once again, leave a comment below. Did anything surprise you? Did you discover something that you were not aware of before? And I really do recommend that you write this down, that you take pen and paper after this video and you actually write down the information that you received. We like to think that we remember these things. We don't. So you'll thank me later once you've written it down and you go, oh, thank God I wrote that down. Just be aware of the resistance as well that you may be receiving when you do these meditations. It's totally normal that your mind is going to try and fight you, okay? That there is your ego saying, hey, I don't want this to change. I'm comfortable in the crappy habit that I've created for myself. So don't judge yourself. Just go with the flow. Just try it. Worst case scenario, it doesn't work. Best case scenario, it could completely change your life. All right, guys. I love you. All right, I hope you have a wonderful, magical day, and I'll see you back for day 4. Okay. Bye-bye. You say bye-bye. I love you. Bye.